Ethan Caldwell was the kind of man newspapers loved to write about. A self-made tech millionaire living in a penthouse overlooking the Manhattan skyline, always seen at galas, always laughing loudly, always pretending he had the world under control. His confidence, his arrogance, his money, all of it created a wall between him and everyone else. But there was one thing Ethan secretly carried like an old wound. He had no family, no parents, no siblings, no partner, no children. Everything he owned was expensive, but nothing he had was warm. On a chilly November evening, the city glowing with early holiday lights, Ethan attended a charity event in Brooklyn. It was for children from low-income families who were learning music through a community arts program. Ethan had been invited mainly because the organizers hoped he would make a donation. And Ethan, who loved attention almost as much as he loved money, arrived wearing a long navy coat, a watch worth more than the building they were standing in, and a confident grin. He didn't expect anything to impress him. He didn't expect his life to change, and he certainly didn't expect her. Inside the small community hall, children rehearsed on a tiny stage, tuning violins and adjusting microphones. The air smelled of old wood and crayons. People whispered around him, "That's Ethan Caldwell, the millionaire. Maybe he'll sponsor the school." Ethan smiled smugly. He liked these whispers. The director of the program, Mrs. Ramirez, walked over and introduced him to the teachers. She spoke passionately about the students, their struggles, and their dreams. Ethan nodded politely, but his attention was only half there. He was checking his phone, his watch, anything more interesting than children with mismatched shoes and secondhand instruments. Then Mrs. Ramirez mentioned one name. "Tonight, our youngest performer is a girl named Lily Harper. She's 8. She's been through a lot, but music is her safe place." Ethan barely reacted. "I'm sure she's adorable," he said with a careless smile. Mrs. Ramirez frowned. "She's more than adorable. She's special." The lights dimmed. The audience quieted. The first few children performed cheerful songs and simple pieces. Everyone clapped, smiled, felt warm inside. Then the stage lights lowered again, and Lily walked out. A small girl with messy brown hair, cheap sneakers, and a violin case nearly bigger than her. She looked fragile, yet determined, like someone who'd learned to survive storms far too young. Her hands trembled slightly as she positioned the violin under her chin. The room went silent. Ethan watched with vague curiosity, and then, smirking at the teacher beside him, sighed dramatically. "If she performs well," he whispered loud enough for others to hear, "I'll adopt her myself." People turned their heads. Some gasped. Some rolled their eyes. Ethan shrugged. It was just a joke. Or so he thought. Lily closed her eyes, and then she played. The first note floated through the room like a breath of cold winter air drifting into a warm home. Soft, trembling, delicate. But then, her bow moved with confidence, shaping the melody into a story, one of loss, fear, hope, and quiet bravery. It wasn't a performance, it was a confession. Every note carried a piece of her. Life nights spent in foster homes, memories of things no child should remember. The ache of wanting to belong somewhere, anywhere. But the beauty of her music wasn't sorrow, it was strength. The kind of strength that grows when a child has nothing but imagination to hold on to. Ethan felt something crack inside him. He straightened in his seat, eyes locked on her tiny shaking hands. His heartbeat slowed, then sped up. His throat tightened. For the first time in years, he forgot his phone, his watch, his ego, his money. He forgot everything except her. The final note hung in the air like a fragile glass ornament, shimmering, trembling, then fading into silence. The audience didn't move. Then applause erupted like thunder. People stood up. Some cried. Even the old janitor wiped his eyes. Lily lowered her head shyly, confused by the overwhelming reaction. But Ethan didn't clap. He couldn't. He simply stared. Mrs. Ramirez turned to him with a raised eyebrow. "Well, Mr. Caldwell, you said you would adopt her." His voice came out softer than he expected. That wasn't a joke anymore. Later that evening, Ethan found Lily sitting alone backstage, hugging her violin like a shield. When he approached her, she looked up with startled eyes too old for her age. "That was beautiful," he said quietly. She shrugged. "I just play what I feel." "And what do you feel now?" he asked. She hesitated, scared, but happy. Ethan knelt down so he was at her level. "Lily, do you want a family?" Her eyes filled with tears. She tried to hide. "Everyone says they want me, then they change their mind." Ethan swallowed hard. "I won't." It would take months of paperwork, interviews, home visits. Adoption was never simple. But Ethan showed up every time. He attended her lessons. He learned her favorite snacks, her fears, her hopes. And the day the judge finally asked Lily if she wanted Ethan to be her father, she didn't hesitate. "Yes," she whispered. "He listens." Ethan exhaled shakily, and for the first time in his life, he felt complete. Because sometimes, family doesn't come from blood. Sometimes, it comes from a single brave note played by a trembling child.